Welcome to another episode of Jump Scare. I'm your host, Betty B. Detley.
And I'm Chad Youngblood.
And this week we have a new episode on a Tuesday. Yay! We had released one of our lost older episodes on yesterday. We had a very eventful weekend. We went to a horror convention, Spooky Empire.
What was it so formal? A convention.
Convention. Oh, because I wanted to say it. Convention.
Okay.
And then we saw what I keep referring to as Get Out, but it was really Us.
Yeah, you got that stuck in your brain.
I know, it just, the other one just seems so flowy. Get out, you know? And then the other one is like Us. Just one word. It's, I don't know, it's like your stereotypical thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It just flows easier. So, Shad, what did you think about the movie?
Well, I liked it a lot. We're going to try not to be too spoilery about it, but something may slip out, so just in case.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Just in case, we're warning you now, there may be something slipping out. We're going to try not to, but just
yeah,
in case.
We're going to try to keep it PG, but there might be some PG-13.
So, yeah, and then we hopefully won't get into R. If we get into NC-17, it's too late.
That's it. Just pack up your bags and just turn it off because you're going to need to take a shower after this dirty conversation.
Jesus. Anyhow, the movie is surprising in a lot of ways. I'm not surprised it was good. I knew it was going to be good coming from Jordan Peele, but it takes a totally different direction than what I thought.
Yeah, if you heard one of our previous podcasts, I just want to say that it is noted that I was right. And I knew exactly what was happening. No, I knew one portion of it. Just because, I mean, if you know anything about anything, it's prevalent of like what some of it was going to be about. But you know, spoiler free. So I'm not going to say what I said in the previous podcast, but if you know what I'm talking about, wink, wink. I liked it as well. There's little bits here and there that it's just me being nitpicky, but I'm not going to be like some people out there that are, you know, being very hipster about it and throwing their 2 cents that they do not like the movie for such and such reason. One of them being that this is not a horror film. And what are you talking about? Like, what?
Yeah, I would definitely, if you consider like The Strangers a horror film, then this is a horror film.
Yeah, I mean, there's different levels of horror. Not every horror film is going to be some Rob Zombie, you know, shit fest where, you know,
they're not all going to be. So there's different
slasher slash demon slash I'm possessed, you know, thing gonna happen, and riddled with jump scares. I understand you kiddies have grown up with this, you know, over the last 10+ years or so. These are the kind of horror movies that you're used to, but that's not what horror is about. That's just a cheap, you know, uneventful way of terrible storytelling just to gain your money, and all you fools just expect that that's what's going to happen in every single horror movie, and it's not what makes a good horror movie. I mean, this film, is it thought-provoking? Yes, it is thought-provoking, but that's refreshing. I don't want to see the same shit that I've seen in every other movie, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this is like the most original idea ever in any film that's ever been made, but at least it's not a remake. At least it's not a revisioning. At least it's not, you know, a revamping of some shit that I already saw. I already have the movie that I like, you know, that was made 20, 30 years ago. I don't need it to be done again with new people. I don't need to have like 25 Spider-Mans. Like, I'm good with just one.
Well, you say it's not, I think it is kind of an original idea, but I mean, is it, without trying to spoil it, I mean, there's other movies that get into the same topic, but they go down vastly different avenues. Because I was kind of surprised that there's more going on than what you see in the trailers. The trailers kind of lead you to think it's going to be all one kind of movie.
Yeah, for the first time, the trailers did not fuck up the, you know, movie, and or I thought, man, why should I just, you know, spend $15 to watch this movie when I literally just saw the whole damn movie in the trailer?
Yeah. The trailers are very good about getting you in, and you're kind of interested because you think one thing's happening, but once you get in, there's a lot more going on than what they show in the trailer, which, like you said, is refreshing that you're actually surprised by what happened.
Yeah. So let me just, be a little. I'm gonna be an asshole. Okay. Let me go out there and say I'm gonna read the definition of horror. Yes, I'm gonna do this. An intense feeling of fear, shock, or disgust. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, I had an intense feeling of fear. Um, Again, it's very difficult to talk about this movie without giving spoilers, but it's the things that humans do that are the worst things, that are things that can happen to you as you walk outside your door, that someone else can put upon you. That scares me more than anything. That's probably why no, that's definitely why I always have loved Halloween, because it wasn't, we didn't need some, stupid backstory that he was, a beaten down child with a stripper mom, and he was psychologically and emotionally, abused kid that grew up to be a killer. No, he was a regular kid, he was just like everybody else, living in a suburban neighborhood, like middle class, and he just snapped. This can happen to anyone. That kind of realism is the horror of what we can do to others, is the scariest thing. I don't need a demon or someone possessed or someone wearing a mask coming after me. I could just go to the supermarket and have some asshole, shoot me in the face. That happens every day. That's scarier to me.
Well, and two, yeah, there's another thing that's kind of it's a horrific aspect of the movie is without giving anything away, but the family itself has to do some pretty horrible things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shocking how quick it becomes just run of the mill to them.
Yeah, it's definitely survival of the fittest at that point.
Yeah, and they're not squeamish about it.
No, they're not.
Like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't do this. No, there's no hesitation.
Yeah, they know if it's not me, it's gonna be you, and I'd be damned if it's gonna be you. So I'm gonna do what I have to do. You're not gonna sit there like you do probably in most horror movies where you're yelling at the person because they're being an idiot and they're running upstairs as opposed to running the front door, or they shot the person one time in the face and they didn't continuously do it. That's not gonna happen. This family definitely knows how to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I mean they very quickly go from being scared to they go John Wick on these people real fast.
Yeah, and it definitely has a lot of twists and turns. Like I said, does it have some flaws here and there, things you can nitpick? Yes, every movie does. But as a whole, it's, entertaining, it's thought provoking. I was scared. The message, whatever message you take away from it, you're gonna take something unless you're a two-dimensional person, and then you can't be helped. It doesn't matter what kind of movie you're watching.
Yeah, I always remember I was saying the other day that the MST3K theme song comes to mind, where he's saying, if you're wondering how he eats and sleeps and breathes and all of these other science things, just relax. It's only a show.
Yeah.
That's kind of this. If you want to start getting into the really nitpicky of certain things, then you can, but that's not really the point of it.
Yeah, I did, and then I had to stop myself because it ruins the whole film, and it's just,
It's kind of like watching Star Wars and going, why do I never see them putting fuel in the ships?
Yeah.
Why are they never fueling these ships? Who's cleaning these asteroid scuffs off the side from movie to movie?
Why can't I see the Force? Everyone's using it. Why can't I just see it float out of their hands? I just don't understand. It's that kind of bullshit, that, I got sucked into for a second. But you just can't help yourself. It's just a human reaction.
But yeah, the more you realize, like, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to see Han standing outside the ship with the gas hose hooked up to it going, 400 more gallons to go and we're ready.
I don't know. Maybe I fucking need to see that. Is he
Nobody needs to see that.
In a Han Solo stance? Like, what's going on? Yeah. What is he wearing? I got a weird look from Shad since we're not on video here, and I think you forgot about that for a second. So yeah, overall, I give it 4 knives. 4 knives out of 5 knives.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, you can nitpick it to death, but don't. Just go enjoy it. And, if there's certain things that you remember, if you happen to be one of the people like myself that was around for certain events that they reference in the movie, it's a very nostalgic trip because I had totally forgotten about a couple of things that they referenced. I was like, oh, yeah, that did happen. That was a thing.
I will tell you an Easter egg. It may be a spoiler, but whatever. If you're into movies and you've watched enough of them, you're probably gonna get it right off the bat. But maybe at the beginning of the movie, might tell you everything that the movie's gonna be. There might be a little thing that's
And I may have, after the opening credits where they flashed something on the screen, said, oh my God. And then the next scene when they showed the house, there was the videotape of what I mentioned just sitting beside the TV.
yeah, which was really hilarious. I did want to mention something else about the film, but now I can't remember what it was. Besides the fact that it was good and you should watch it. Um, yeah, I don't remember what it was, but apparently, Trick or Treat Studios is already coming out with the costumes.
Yes. I don't know, I forgot the exact date, but they're already manufacturing the jumpsuits, gloves, and scissors that the people are carrying.
Yeah.
They're not messing around. They're getting right on this bandwagon.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? We gotta pre-order these. People are gonna want to, be part of this. And the overhype thing. That's people are like one of the keywords. In Google, you go all the way down, and it's like the most words that are used for the search. One of them was like overhyped. Of course, a movie's gonna be overhyped if you literally have seen the same horror film over and over again, which is jump scares and all the typical bullshit, gore, gore, gore. No
And
plot.
they're gonna hype this like crazy because, of course, he won an Oscar for his last movie.
Yeah, and
how many horror
he's
movie directors have Oscars?
And he's a black director who's doing this, so it's not like there's like a whole plethora of them making, all this kind of a movie or movies in general. Like there's like 5 guys out there,
So of course, when he comes
Black
around and
guys.
he's good, they want to promote it, and there's no reason they shouldn't.
No, there is no reason. And, something is going to be overhyped because for a large percent of the public, they really liked it. But, don't go in there with any of those thoughts. Just go in there just like you're watching any regular movie and enjoy yourself. That's the whole point. Whether you like it or hate it, that's up to you in the end. But, what are you doing with your life? I don't see you making a film. But anyways, just kidding. If you like it or love it, you
Let us know what you thought about it. Give us some feedback on the page. Leave it on the Horror Society page on Facebook, or leave it on the Jump Scare page here on Podbean. Okay, and now let's get a quick word from our new sponsor.
The stuff is here now. Great new taste sensation. Light and free now. Gives you elevation. Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough of the stuff.
The stuff, the taste that makes you hungry for more. The stuff, taste that delivers.
Enough is never enough. Enough is never enough.
Okay, we're back after that word from our sponsor.
Yeah, it sounds very tasty.
Yes, we should go get some. We actually have some in the fridge right now.
We sure do.
Obviously, we were talking about the stuff, and sadly, this Sunday, the writer, was he the writer as well, or just the director?
I believe he was a writer and a director
Of the stuff passed away at 77. Larry Cohen. We both always really enjoyed that movie a lot. It's another one that when you talk about social commentary things, it's about our obsession to buy things and how people get so crazy for the advertising of it, and it was just always a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. Came out 85. I saw it actually probably 4 years ago for the first time. I think I may have seen it as a kid. I don't really remember. It's one of those films that when you watch, you're like, I don't know, this is kind of hazy. I feel like I've seen this before. But there are some awesome special effects in there.
Yeah, and of course all practical back then.
Yeah. And, the film does such a good... I love how they have all the, fake commercials in there, and You know how it's kind of like it reminds me of Halloween 3.
Yeah, continuing with the fake commercials, and you start getting the theme songs to them stuck in your head.
Yeah.
You start singing it after you leave. Can't get enough of the stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And you know how it's like there's more to it, and you know, like the factory, and they have to uncover the truth of it all, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I guess there's a lot of Halloween 3. I didn't think about that.
yeah, they're very close and reminiscent of one another. The stuff.
Yeah, he's done a lot of other movies that are very enjoyable too. Because I always enjoyed It's Alive. Like that one came out in the 70s, and it was kind of born out of the fear of there had been that drug, thalidomide, that had been given to the pregnant women, and it caused all the babies to be born with terrible birth defects. And It's Alive, of course, the very first scene of it is the baby is born, comes out of the mother, attacks the doctors, kills the doctors and nurses in the hospital, and then just crawls out into the sewers.
Yeah, that is definitely a fear of mine that I had while I was giving birth when just almost a year ago, that this baby was gonna come out of me. You know, because I went to Halloween Horror Nights. We went when I was like 6 months pregnant. So it was like maybe all this horror stuff like got into the baby. She was gonna come out and like start biting and eating everybody.
But unfortunately, she did not.
No, she did not. Even though she was born on.
But another one, It's Alive, is another one that has a lot of great practical effects. They do a great job with the little evil baby puppet. And it's very creepy. I've seen a couple of people at conventions that have had the puppet like wrapped up in a blanket and carried it around. And it has a thing where you put your hand in the one, and it's like you have a fake arm. It's like a fake arm that looks like you're cradling it with the other arm, and you can move it around. They're pretty amazing, and I kind of need one. He also did the, I'll say quintessential because it's just called Q, The Winged Serpent. It's the only movie about Quetzalcoatl that I know of.
You know, I feel like there needs to be more Quetzalcoatl movies out there.
Yeah, I can't say that that's a great movie, but it's a fun movie because the like stop motion Quetzalcoatl is ridiculous and so much fun to see the giant bird going around New York with them shooting at it. And it's got David Carradine, Michael Moriarty. The cast is great, and it's one of those just cheesy, low budget monster movies that, like I said, it may not be the greatest movie, but it's fun to watch, especially if you get a group of people with it to sit down and watch it, because it's a blast.
Yeah, he also loved Michael Moriarty because he's also in the stuff.
Yes, and he's also in. He did a Return to Salem's Lot with Michael Moriarty as well.
That's right.
They're good friends. There was a documentary about him, and Michael Moriarty was featured pretty heavily in the documentary, talking about how they had been friends for years. They'd bounce ideas off of each other, and a lot of the stuff that Michael Moriarty's characters do in the movies are just things he came up with that Larry Cohen said, okay, sure, do that.
That's cool. Yeah, he was definitely, I would say, the top producer, writer, director of the B movies.
Yeah, he's right up there with Corman and all the others.
Yeah, definitely.
Another one, and I don't think you've seen this one, but it's a very disturbing one that he did called
The God one?
God Told Me To.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me about this. That shit sounds really fucked up and just out of the world.
Yeah, it's another one of these movies like we were talking about Us. You think God Told Me To is going to be about a crazy sniper that gets up onto a building and starts shooting people. But then it picks up with other people doing the same thing. There becomes a rash of people just going crazy and shooting everyone in the middle of New York. And once they start investigating into it, it goes to a place I never would have imagined. I was thinking it was going to be a cult. I was thinking it was going to be some kind of brainwashing. I didn't get where it was going to go, and when it finally went there, I was surprised. And then it goes even crazier with it's, without spoiling it, you can't do it, but trust me, it's a crazy ride, and it's a lot of fun. And it just goes to places you would not think. And it's got the great Richard Lynch playing a part in it that once you see it, you'll never forget it. And Richard Lynch himself he was in a lot of movies throughout the 70s and 80s. He was the bad guy in Bad Dreams.
Mm.
So you can imagine if something is so intense with him that not just him being there is creepy enough, but they had to add something extra creepy, That's how intense it is.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, from what you told me, it's like I don't think I ever want to see this movie because it sounds like a mind fuck. But I got my taste of it with just you explaining it to me, and it sounds in fucking sane.
Yeah, if you want to see a movie, like I said, that goes to places you wouldn't imagine, that's the one for you.
It's like, what kind of drugs were they doing at this time? Like, what, how do you even come up with an idea like that?
Yeah, I don't know. And I've heard the rumor that Richard Lynch, who plays the villain in this, the reason that he has the burn scars on his face is that he actually set himself on fire while he was using LSD.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I would not be surprised. That was an intense guy.
So, the next movie that he did was Maniac Cop. He produced it. And what a crazy movie to produce. You got the legendary Tom Atkins, and then you got Bruce Campbell.
And as the Maniac Cop, Robert Zadar.
Yeah, so it's just like, whoa, that's pretty fantastical.
Yeah. You don't get that kind of cast off, and especially we get two, like, I'll call them Scream Kings in the same movie.
Scream Kings. I've
Maniac
never heard
Cop
that
is on
for
Voodoo.
sure.
Okay.
They're total Scream.
You gotta pay
Kings.
$3
Yeah.
for that, and then
Do you think any?
God
I think
told
some of
me
these
to,
films are like
it's
on
also
Tubi.
$3.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are
And
on
the
the
stuff
if
is
you guys
also
have PlayStation
$3. So
4
$3
or one
is
of the
not
other
really
things.
bad for
a lot
renting
of
the
these
movie.
films
You get
are
it
on
for, like, I
Tubi,
think
some of them are on
48
Amazon
hours.
Prime. Yeah, you get a month to start
I don't think
watching, and
they're
then
really on
48 hours
Netflix
once
or
you get it.
Hulu,
There's a
No,
Voodoo on
they're
Amazon.
not. I would
And
say
then Voodoo.
Q's on Tubi and on Amazon Prime, and that's free.
Yeah.
And so is Full Moon High, which he also directed.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
No, I never seen it either. That might be a film. Maybe we'll do that next time because it seems pretty terrible. I mean, no offense, Larry Cohen, rest in peace.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We need to do a werewolf episode sometime too.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I agree. I have thoughts on that, but I'm not gonna disclose these thoughts while we're live on the air.
Okay. But yeah, he's done a lot over the years, and yeah, like I said, he's made some that I'm not fond of, but then he's made some great ones too. So, you know, when you make as many movies as he did, they're not all going to be winners.
No, and you know what? It's just the fun of making the movie. Like at least he attempted to make the movie.
At least he got out there and tried, even if it was a ridiculous. Hey, there's a Quetzalcoatl in New York, and we're going to take it down with the SWAT team.
Maybe it came alive from like the Museum of Natural History. You know.
Well, you know, if you think about like the God Told Me To now, where all the people are just randomly going crazy and shooting, that was something that didn't happen that often in the 70s. Maybe it happened once every few years. Maybe. I don't remember hearing about mass shootings like that until, well, maybe like the one in Texas where the guy got up on the building and started shooting everyone. That was in the 60s. And I don't think there was another one after that for a long time.
Yeah.
It was just something that didn't happen every day like it does now.
Yeah.
It was, people couldn't imagine, like, oh, people are just going crazy and randomly shooting all their friends, family, neighbors, and total strangers. It was a really horrific thing back then. Kind of like the thing with Michael Myers, a kid stabbing somebody to death. People couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
Now
it's like a social norm, unfortunately, and it's still a very horrific event.
Yeah. It's just amazing how what was once like an unimaginable event that was relegated to a B movie is now an everyday occurrence.
You know what? Maybe we need to flip the coin on that and say that in the films, what a natural occurrence would be like vampires and aliens. And maybe that's what we have coming up. Maybe the vampires are going to come out like True Blood style and announce that they've been amongst us the whole time. I'm ready for that, vampires. Any vampires out there? I'm ready to be turned. You know, this is a good age for me to be turned. I don't want to be turned any older. You know, you don't want to be like an 80-year-old vampire.
I would like to go to the gym for a little while before they turn me, though.
Yeah, well.
I don't want to necessarily be the same weight that I am forever.
Yeah, I guess.
If they do that, and I want to make sure I get a good haircut, good shave, and everything beforehand, because you know you can't change once you're done.
You know, you got to make an appointment. I guess you got to go to like
You got to go to everything, get everything taken care of.
Yeah, before you get turned into a vampire, and then you're like that forever. You want to be like the guy from The Office that became a vampire in True Blood.
Yeah, from Office Space.
Office Space. Why do I always say The Office? You know,
same kind of thing.
I guess. Yeah, and it's the same, like,
it's
shitty ass setting.
It's like the joke that always says, you know, be careful what clothes you wear each day, because if you get killed, you're going to be wearing those as a ghost forever.
Yeah, your ghost clothes forever.
Yeah, I hate to be like my ghost clothes. Be like, oh, here's my dirty T-shirt with a hole in it. Now I'm gonna look like the hillbilly that's haunted the house.
That's your worst fucking nightmare.
It is.
Yeah. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye. Just kidding. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Go out there, see a movie. Doesn't have to be specifically the great movie that we saw over the weekend. Us. See any movie. Captain Marvel. I really like that too.
Yeah. Also, keep an eye out. We're going to try to do some more things like we did at Spooky Empire. At Spooky Empire, we planted some cassette tapes with episodes of the podcast on it around. And there was one that was specially marked, and the person won a prize when they found it.
They sure did.
They contacted us, and we'll be shipping them out a little Funko Pop Chucky pretty soon. Once they send us their address, we'll be sending that out. So keep your eyes open. We may be doing some things like that again in the future.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see some items around in the Orlando area from the Jump Scare podcast.
All right, so we'll be back soon, and thank you for listening.
Stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.